Hi. This morning you're going to have some students coming to you, and it looks like there's going to be a group of 4. Can you tell me a little bit about this group, when they started with you at the beginning of the year?
Okay, I had 4 students in here. Normally I have 3, but my scheduling snafu myself, I had an extra one. I've had them since the beginning of the school year. They're in different classrooms. They came in anywhere from a level 3, well actually 3, 4, 6, and 8. Yep, 2nd grade, 3, 4, 6, and 8. And currently they're at 12, 18, and 24.
And what time of the year are we right now? This is December, right?
This is December, yep. Yeah.
So September to December, that kind of progress has been made. Okay.
Right.
Colleen, how did you know? So they came in with the DRA score. And knowing where their DRA score, does that give you enough information on how to do this deep intervention with the kids? Or what do you use as a tool to help you make that guided direction?
Well, using the DRA, the guided reading, analyzing that, but also adding the word analysis to, what should we say, the information that I needed, gave me specific areas where the students were strong in and specific areas where they needed work in.
Right.
To move them to the next level. And it's kind of funny because, and I know we've talked about this before, where it's like, oh wow, it's right there. It's right there. That's
the word analysis is
word
just
analysis.
A great tool.
Yep.
Did they all show no little or some in the same, or were they all in different areas?
All different.
Okay.
All different. It's pretty interesting though. It seems like vowels, and we've talked about this before, that the vowels are not strong,
Mm-hmm.
but the other ones also had other areas of more concern that we needed to take care of first before we could get to the vowels.
Right. And that's where that word analysis, those
Yep.
tasks are just so developmental in there.
Right.
Now, when you, how long do you work with these kids at a time?
Half an hour.
A half
every
an
day.
hour, okay.
Yep.
And typically, in the classroom, maybe the teacher might have 20 minutes for sure. And so we need to think about, we've got to use our time wisely.
Right.
What would be your suggestions for a classroom teacher or someone who's going to do intervention to be able to be effective in using that amount of time? What are some of your areas that you've really learned about that are more effective than others?
Well, for me personally, I need to be organized first. Well, the most important part is the student and understanding what they need to become successful. But then I have to be organized. If I'm not organized, I feel like I'm treading water.
Tell me some examples of what
Right.
organization means.
I mean, organized with all my tools I might need.
Can you show us a
My
few of your
whisper
tools?
readers, my highlight
Reading
bookmarks.
strips. Mhm.
I have level books here from the book room, plus my own books.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I've got magnetic letters, and I've got each, well, as far as I've gone so far, the task activities.
Right, and those come
separate.
from the FCRR.org.
Right.
But you could also have those from the Words Their Way sorts. You could have those ready as well.
Yep.
And so you can have them in that container. You could probably have those in baggies too if you don't
Right.
have containers like that. Or
Oh,
I
absolutely.
see you have some in envelopes.
Right.
So there are a lot of different ways that you can have these sorts
Mhm.
ready before these kids come. Okay.
Right.
And
And then I have every tool
Right.
imaginable, my markers and whatnot, just
Right.
because I don't want to waste my time
Yeah.
and go and find scissors or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Now, you have, I see you have those readers. When we are going to be watching these kids in a little bit, are they going to be reading different books? Are they all at different books?
Yes, they are. Sometimes I have them each in different books, and sometimes I have them reading the same book,
Mm-hmm.
only so that they can have a conversation
You
about it.
Yeah?
And then maybe recommend it to another child. And also sometimes we do plays for fluency.
Yep,
So
that reader's
then,
theater.
Yep, they'll all have the same book at that time.
Right. How do you decide then what book it is? Does that book, is it according to what their task is, or is it you know where their reading level is and then that happens to tie into what their area is? How do you find that that's worked for you?
Right. I use, of course, first I think about their level.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a fantastic book room, so there's so many choices for us. And it, like we've talked about before, that it's amazing how it all kind of meshes together. What they're working on for their word analysis will come up in their book.
Right.
And you just have to focus them. For instance, one little girl, vowels. Think about your vowels. And just kind of give them that goal
You bet.
that they need to think about while they're reading.
When you have these kids, you have them for a half hour, when a teacher has them, would you suggest that you kind of follow the same routine every time that you work with them, or should you do something different every time? What's your suggestion?
Personally, what works best for me is the routine. And the students know then, you know, Monday they're going to illustrate the poem. And then they know we're going to, you know, do our word analysis activity, do our reading. Sometimes I do switch it up a little bit though.
Okay.
When, usually I do our reading at the end, but if they're doing a task, a word analysis task that I think would be conducive to their reading, then we'll read first, so they can apply what they're working on,
Right.
the task that they're working on in the book.
But you still always incorporate some type of reading, whether it's through a poem or something
Right.
like that, or a nursery rhyme, and then you have them work on a skill that's specific to their area of need. You have them talk about with each other what they're doing to work on that oral language, and then you tie writing in also. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yep. Writing to support their reading. Their writing is a bit lower than their reading right
Which is
now.
very typical.
So that's what we're working on also.
Okay.
And the reason I do poetry right away every day is we're working on the foundational skills, the punctuation, the rhyming words.
Yeah.
So we don't neglect that.
Excellent. Okay. Any last words of wisdom?
The first thing you need to do is be organized. If you're not organized, like I said before, you're treading water and you aren't being efficient. You aren't being an efficient teacher. So, you know, when you're organized, it takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it.
All right.
It's worth it.
Thank you so much for all your
So
expertise and your time.
Thank you.